Thankful today. God knows my heart that we're here. We've been listening to some of the best preaching that you could ever hear in your life. And if anything, I'd ask you to lay it up, treasure it up near your heart just at any time. To me, it's a treasure that money can't buy. It's a memory that death can't destroy. And it's a feeling like you'll never have in your life when you're under the influence of God's Spirit. And we're here today in memory of those. I was talking to Brother Jerry last weekend. Or maybe it was the week before last. We came up here for a funeral. And we're talking about what people call a memorial meeting. And I said, I know a lot of people insinuate or they'll call it for homecoming. We got talking, I said, I guess it is both. It's time to remember those, and we want their families to come home where they were and to remember them that had passed by here. Somebody said, well, do you meet to worship them or do you meet to worship the Lord? When you worship the Lord, you're remembering their memory. Anytime that I've been in a good meeting here, people come back to my mind. It was once here that praised Him, that rejoiced to Him. And that's the way it is, as we know that someday we're going to be with them all again in the by and by. See, we're not here always, Brother PJ. We weren't promised that. But we were promised one thing, is that when we come down and we leave this world, no matter how that we leave it, and you don't know how you're going to leave it today. You don't know that. And listen, friend, none of you are exempt from leaving it in the worst way possible. And I've seen people leave this world right now. Some of my favorite people in the church, some brethren that I had very high confidence in, I've seen them leave in some of the most tragic ways. And people say, why? Why would that happen? But you know what? Just as soon as they left here, they opened their eyes to there. And they wouldn't have turned in no other way. They didn't know what happened to them, the reason why they left this world. That's how God's got it fixed. I can't explain it all. I can't tell about it all. I can't even begin to even start to get you to understand just how good it is. But the feeling that you felt here today, you felt it, that's just a little foretaste of what heaven is going to be like. Just a little bit. Our bodies, Brother Jackie, our souls, Sister Karen, we couldn't take that full extent of heaven. We couldn't handle it. It's too great. If we actually felt it, we'd be changed right there. We'd be changed right there. And we got a song we're going to sing. People say, sometimes maybe it's tired of hearing me singing it. I don't get tired of singing it. It's a good one to me. Thought this morning, I want to just say this. And I sat there on my seat and I was thinking. I looked down and looked pants I had on. And thought come to me, and some may laugh at this, but this is funny in its own way, but it's not. But I believe Brother Jerry Mans, he brought me my key back that I've been looking for about 2 years this morning. Last time I was with him, we was in a funeral over at Hyman, and I just got in my vehicle and had 2 fobs to it. And it's been about 2 years, I guess, since I've looked everywhere for that fob. I've turned everything upside down. Cannot find it anywhere. Only had one, and that's dangerous, And this morning when we was getting ready, I laid my suit out on the bed, and I was checking the pockets to see. I reached in there and pulled out that fob. And I told Ron, I said, here's my key. And as I was sitting in here, I thought to myself, Jason, the last time you wore that suit was with Brother Jerry. He preached funerals at Hyman. And I just told my clumsiness, I sat there and I said, thanks, Brother Jerry. I brought that key back. It's just now getting to where it goes, man, you change batteries and that other one. And I tried to change and come up, I don't know how to. I thought, well, if this thing goes dead, I'm mad. I only got one fob. I got up here, and there it was. Somebody said, well, why do you believe Brother Jerry brought that back to you? That's just me this morning. God works in mysterious ways, friends. You can't tell me that one blessing that you've got in life that you deserve it. We don't deserve one thing.
We don't.
God's done for us because He gave all that He had to give.
Yes.
And that was His Son. He gave it all. He gave it all. There was a man one time, that's all he had was his son. And he loved him. He loved him a lot, Brother Randy. Jesus loves us just as much. But he loved his son so much. And his son went away to war. But his heart was broken. He never came home, did he? My grandmother, that you all read off here earlier, when she was dying, a couple years ago, she was born over in the head of Fraser's Creek in McDowell and was raised there. And at 13, my mom, being the oldest, they left and went to Ohio because work just wasn't around anymore. But Grandma, as she laid there and she was dying, she would look at my mother and she'd say, "He'll be here in a little bit. He'll be here in a little bit." And Mom would say, "Who, Mommy? Who are you talking about?" And she'd say, "Roy." That was my grandmother's brother that left a long time ago to go to war, and he never came home. And up in the hollows of Fraser's Creek, they said that when they came and they told my great-grandmother that her son had been killed, and they never did get his body back home. They said the cries that come out, you could hear them all down that holler, and I'm sure they happened a lot. But the thought of when my grandmother was ready to leave, that he saw that he'll be here in a little bit. See, friend, we don't know what we'll see when we come down to leave this world. But I believe that if you're a child of God, that you'll be happy when you see what you see. I had a brother one time, there was nothing against him, nothing that ever could be against him other than what jealous men could possibly pile up against him. And they began to stone him to death right there. And the son, when they stoned him to death, as they stoned him, the son, he said something. He looked up, he said, "I see Jesus standing." And I believe when the world is beating you down, Jesus is standing there for you.
He's right there.
When the storms of life are raging, He'll stand by you. He'll be there with you. You may think, "Where's He at? I can't see Him." Friend, He's got you in His arms.
He's right there.
This young man, he never came home from war. It broke the father's heart. He loved him so much. He loved him so much that he had a portrait painted of him, didn't he, Brother Randy? How many of you got pictures of your kids hanging in your home? Why do you do that? Because you love them. They're special to you. And listen, this young man, if he'd have returned home, Brother BJ, he'd have had everything that he ever wanted. This man, his dad was very wealthy. I've got a rich father today.
Yes, I have.
I'm not talking about my natural.
No. I know what you're talking about.
But he said, listen, he would have left him everything behind, but now, listen, it wasn't there anymore to do that, really, was it? Came down, and I know this story's been told in different formats. I want to tell it just like this. Just do it the way the Lord gives it to me. You're going to laugh at me. Brother Jerry, bring my tea. You can laugh at me the way you tell story. But you know, today, I've said this. I've said this. If God's Spirit's around, it'll be all right. Everything will be all right. But he said like this, listen, when he came down to die, his will, it wasn't many pages long. It wasn't many pages. He had it very straightforward. Wanted everything that he had to be auctioned off, didn't he? Yeah. So the son, they called everybody in to have the auction. Got them all in there and began to have it. They began to cut that picture. Right there, that young man. You know, this man had equipment, this man had a home, got home, everything, had a lot of riches. It was very nice. But they brought that picture of that young man and put it right there up front and said, this is the first thing that we'll be auctioning off. And they began to holler, who will give me 5? Who will give me 5? Brother Glenn, no one will give him anything. Finally, a man sitting there thought, I want to get this moving on. So he gave a bid. I think he may have went to $10, Brother Jeremiah. Maybe not even that much. Finally, the auctioneer said sold to the man that bid $10. And then they stopped. Because that's where the will said this needed to be read. The will began to read. Said the first thing that would be auctioned off would be his son's picture. And whoever bought it would get everything else. Would get everything else. That man that gave $10 got everything given to him there of that man's because he thought enough to buy that son's picture. See, when you get the Son, friend, you get it all. You get it all when you get Jesus. That's why we tell you need Him more than you need life itself. You need Jesus more than you need to see the sun come up tomorrow. Because if you don't have Him and it don't come, it'll be hell for you to pay for the rest of your life. Eternity, eternity, eternity. Eternity's a long time. Eternity's a long time. Do you know what, Luke? There's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of people that they're going to think they're going to make it. And they're not. And there's going to be a lot of people that you think may not be there. It's going to be there. And we don't know. But I know one thing, friend. As long as Jesus is there, we'll be happy. He's going to be there. They're saying, Sister Sue, He's going to take us up there. He's going to take us up there and leave us. And then He's going to come back. And then He's going to set up a kingdom here. They say He's going to come back, listen here. And then He's going to go up there and get us and bring us back here. That's the awfulest doctrine I've ever heard in my life. Listen, when we leave this whole world, friend, we're leaving, we ain't going to look back. Jesus is not coming to set foot on this earth. Listen, when He goes, I'm going with Him. And that cloud of glory, it'll be big enough to hold the whole world. You better believe every man, every woman that wants to get on it will be able to get on it. Amen. I got to sing this song because I promised somebody and it's on my mind. We're going to sing it. I know that there's been, I think many died. Most everybody's up sung it in their funeral. And Brother Jerry loved it. Sister Juanita loved it. And I know why they loved it. And I know why they loved it because we're going to love the same reason why they did. Welcome home. We're going to love it when we hear Him say, welcome home, child. Welcome home. Are you ready to go home today? Yes, sir. Somebody said, how many's ready out here? Brother, I hope every one of them is ready. I hope every one of you is ready. If you're not ready, today's a good day to get started. Today's a good day to get started. I want to tell you something, men and women. If Jesus is knocking at your door, if He's at your door, you should just let Him in. Just let Him in. Some people want to make it all difficult. Want to be stubborn. Friend, you can't bargain with the Lord. You can't do it. What do you have that Jesus needs? Nothing. Nothing.
Not your very life.
But He wants your very life to serve Him. Friend, that's different than having natural things to give Him. That stuff will all go away. But I'm glad what will live and abide forever. You know what? You tell me this. And if you can tell me this, then I'll hush. You tell me that you'll be here tomorrow. You tell me that you'll be here next week. You can't do it.
Can't do that.
But you're going to die. You know that, don't you? And when you die, how will it be with you? And it's just not about dying, friend, and having the Lord and going to heaven. That's not what it's all about. That's a great reward. But I'm telling you today that while we walk in this present time, we need Jesus. And He'll walk with you. This world is a horrible, sometimes it can be a very cool place. But at the end of the day, when you can lay down and see where you were and what He brought you through, oh, what a blessing it is. What a blessing it is. Have you ever looked back and saw where you was at and wondered how you got where you were? Maybe it's all because of Jesus. Somebody said, well, I'm not a Christian. I wasn't living like that. Friend, it don't matter. God will watch over you. He'll bring you through things. He's wanting to show you. I'm convinced that every good thing comes from God above, and every bad thing comes from below. Brother Daniel back here, his father, Brother Walter Akers, I remember how he used to say that, and it stuck with me when I was little. He'd say, all good things come from the Lord above. All bad things come from the old booger man. Comes from the old booger man. He used that term, the old booger man, a lot. That's what he called him. And he is. The Satan's a booger man, he's an ugly man, but you know, to the world, he's beautiful. Friend, that's how he sees him. But my Jesus, he's a lot more beautiful. He's a lot more beautiful. You can have him today if you want him. You can have him today if you want him. Wouldn't it be a glorious day? I hear him say sometimes, well, I'd like to go back. I wish it was like the way it was back years ago. God's not changed. God's not changed. Spirit's still here. And I'm glad and I'm thankful today that when it blesses, it causes us to be able to rejoice. I was pretty this morning. It was a good feeling. So glad. Hope God will bless me to sing this. There's a day just out in front of us, I know will surely come. That eastern sky will open wide, revealing God's dear Son. And I know from here to heaven is but a twinkling of an eye. In the midst of all His glory, we'll hear the sweetest cry. Welcome home. I knew you'd come. Welcome home. You're here for good. Just look around. Was it worth the wait? Welcome home. Step through the gate. Welcome home. I believe, at least for me, I'm gonna see my mom and dad, my brothers and my sisters, everywhere you are, friends.
If you're not there, you missed it all.
All the meetings, they're gonna be precious by the one that loves so dear.
You'll be in
No
heaven
mortal
today.
man has ever seen or heard what we're gonna hear.
Yeah, what a sound.
Everybody, welcome home. I knew you'd come.
What a day.
Welcome home.
We all gather around.
You're
God.
here for
Following the Lamb everywhere He goes.
just
Rejoicing forever.
around.
Shouting praises to the King.
Was it worth
Oh Lord. Thank you for having mercy on a wretch like me. Oh, sweet Jesus, because you, Lord, came my way.
Welcome home.
I was just like the little woman at the well. Wasn't worthy, wasn't